Good morning, afternoon. Today we're diving into a subject that is often hidden behind closed doors and weighted with silent shame: what happens when you don't have money. We often hear the phrase money makes the world go round, but what if we dared to challenge that notion? True wealth, the kind that endures and enriches our lives in profound ways, isn't found in the digits of a bank account. It lies in the intangible, immeasurable qualities that shape our human experience: connection, courage, and character. These are the assets that bring meaning to our lives and leave a legacy far more valuable than material riches. Connection is the foundation of a fulfilling life. It is in the relationships we build, the bonds we nurture, and the love we share that we discover a wealth that no amount of money can buy. Think of the moments that have brought you the most joy or comfort: a friend showing up during your darkest hour, a loved one's embrace, or a conversation that ignites your soul. These moments remind us that our greatest wealth is found in the people who walk beside us. Connection doesn't require a bank account. It requires presence, empathy, and the willingness to truly see and be seen by others. Courage, too, is a form of wealth. It is the inner resource that pushes us to grow, to take risks, and to face challenges head-on. Courage allows us to step into the unknown, to pursue our dreams even when the odds seem stacked against us. It is the voice inside that says you are enough even when the world tries to convince you otherwise. Wealth and courage means living authentically, daring to be vulnerable, and standing firm in your values. It's a currency that builds resilience and fuels the pursuit of a meaningful life. And then there's character, the compass that guides our actions and decisions. True wealth lies in the integrity with which we navigate the world, in the kindness we extend to others, and in the legacy of goodness we leave behind. Character shapes how we treat those around us, especially when no one is watching. It's about living in alignment with our principles and being the kind of person who inspires trust and respect. Wealth and character creates ripples, touching lives in ways we may never fully see or understand. Vulnerability is a word that often makes us uncomfortable, especially when it comes to something as personal and fraught as financial struggles. It's natural to feel fear and shame when money is tight. These emotions can creep into every corner of our lives, casting shadows over our confidence, our relationships, and even our sense of self-worth. Yet in vulnerability lies a power that can transform how we approach these challenges and ultimately set us free. When financial struggles arise, fear tends to be our first reaction. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of the unknown. We worry about how others might perceive us, how we'll meet our basic needs, and whether we'll ever escape this cycle. Shame quickly follows, whispering lies about our worthiness, convincing us that we're somehow less valuable because we're struggling. It tells us to hide, to pretend everything is fine, to put on a brave face even when we're crumbling inside. But here's the thing: shame thrives in secrecy. The more we bury it, the heavier it becomes. Vulnerability, however, is the antidote to this weight. It's about naming what we're feeling, even when it's uncomfortable. It's about saying, this is hard and I'm scared, but I'm not going to let this define me. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we take the first step toward dismantling the power that fear and shame hold over us. Being open about financial struggles doesn't mean shouting them from the rooftops. It means choosing to share our truth with people we trust. It means allowing ourselves to be seen, even when it feels risky. And here's where the transformation begins. When we share our struggles, we often discover that we're not alone. Financial hardship is more common than we think, but it's rarely talked about because of the stigma surrounding it. By speaking up, we create space for connection. We give others permission to be honest about their own challenges. In that connection, we find support, understanding, and sometimes even solutions we hadn't considered. Vulnerability also fosters self-compassion. Instead of beating ourselves up for not having it all figured out, we can acknowledge that struggling doesn't make us less than it makes us human. When we embrace vulnerability, we reclaim our power. We stop letting fear and shame dictate our actions and start taking steps toward freedom, whether that means seeking help, setting boundaries, or simply allowing ourselves to hope again. In the end, vulnerability is not weakness, it is courage in action, and it is the bridge to a life unburdened by the weight of secrecy and self-doubt. Shame is a powerful emotion, often rooted in the belief that we are fundamentally flawed or unworthy. When it comes to money struggles, shame tends to flourish in the silence and secrecy that surround financial hardship. Society often equates success with wealth, reinforcing the stigma that struggling with money is a personal failing. This toxic narrative can make it incredibly difficult to separate our financial circumstances from our sense of self-worth. However, building shame resilience allows us to confront this stigma head-on and reclaim our humanity, reminding ourselves that our value extends far beyond the balance of our bank accounts. Money, at its core, is a tool, a means of exchange that helps us navigate the practicalities of life. Yet we have allowed it to take on much more weight than it deserves. We use it to measure success, intelligence, and even character, forgetting that financial situations are often shaped by circumstances far beyond our control. Whether it's an unexpected health crisis, a layoff, or systemic inequities, many factors contribute to financial struggles. Recognizing this truth is the first step in breaking free from the shame that so often accompanies those struggles. Your worth is not a number. It cannot be calculated in dollars or cents. It is intrinsic, rooted in your humanity and your capacity to love, to connect, and to contribute to the world in ways that money cannot quantify. Resilience begins when you stop letting external markers like income or possessions dictate your sense of value. It's about reminding yourself again and again that struggling with money does not make you less deserving of respect, compassion, or dignity. One of the most effective ways to build shame resilience is to speak your truth. Shame thrives in silence, but when you share your experiences with trusted people, you begin to dismantle its power. You might discover that others have faced similar challenges or that they see your worth in ways you've overlooked. Vulnerability creates connection, and in connection, shame begins to lose its grip. Practicing self-compassion is also essential. Instead of berating yourself for financial difficulties, treat yourself with the kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. Remember that everyone stumbles, and your worth is not defined by your circumstances, but by how you rise from them. Shame resilience is not about ignoring the reality of financial struggles. It's about refusing to let them dictate how you see yourself. You are not your bank balance. You are a person of infinite value, deserving of love and respect simply because you exist. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools we have to shift our perspective, especially in times of scarcity. When financial struggles weigh heavily on us, it can be easy to focus on what's lacking, the bills we can't pay, the opportunities we feel we've missed, or the stress that seems to multiply. But even in the midst of these challenges, gratitude invites us to pause, look around, and recognize the abundance that still exists in our lives. It doesn't erase the difficulties, but it does illuminate the blessings that are often overshadowed by our struggles. In scarcity, gratitude begins with small acknowledgments. Perhaps it's a kind word from a friend, a sunny morning, or a moment of laughter shared with someone you love. These may seem like minor details, but they carry profound significance when we take the time to truly notice them. Health, for instance, is something many of us overlook until it's compromised. Yet every breath we take, every step we walk, and every heartbeat is a testament to the body's resilience. In appreciating our health, we shift the focus from what we lack to the incredible gift of being alive. Relationships, too, are a source of abundance that transcends material wealth. Money can buy many things, but it cannot buy genuine connection or love. The people who stand by us, who listen without judgment, and who share in our joys and sorrows are treasures beyond measure. Gratitude for these connections reminds us that we are not alone, even when life feels overwhelming. It's in these moments of togetherness that we find strength and solace. Time is another gift often taken for granted. It's easy to see time as a relentless force, especially during hardship, but gratitude helps us view it differently. Each day offers opportunities to learn, grow, and create memories. Time is a currency we all possess, regardless of financial status, and how we choose to spend it can shape our experiences in meaningful ways. Leaning into gratitude doesn't mean ignoring the challenges of scarcity. It means choosing to acknowledge the good that exists alongside the struggle. It's a practice that requires intentionality, but the rewards are profound. Gratitude transforms our mindset, helping us see possibilities instead of limitations. It reminds us that abundance is not solely about material possessions, it's about the richness of our experiences, the depth of our relationships, and the moments of beauty we encounter every day. In embracing gratitude, we discover that even in scarcity, there is always something to be thankful for. Money has long been treated as a yardstick for success, but it's important to challenge this narrative and reframe how we view financial hardship. Too often, society places a moral value on money, equating wealth with virtue and financial struggle with failure. This perspective is not only flawed but also deeply damaging. It fuels shame, distorts self-worth, and ignores the complex realities that shape our lives. The truth is, money is not a moral compass. Being broke doesn't mean you're broken, it simply means you're in a difficult chapter of your story, not the conclusion of it. Financial difficulties can happen to anyone, often for reasons beyond our control. An unexpected job loss, medical expenses, or even global economic shifts can turn stability into uncertainty overnight. Yet these circumstances do not define your character or diminish your value. Money is a tool, not a reflection of your integrity, kindness, or strength. The narrative that ties self-worth to financial status is a societal construct, not an absolute truth. Reframing this belief is the first step toward reclaiming your sense of self. When you're in the midst of financial hardship, it can feel all-encompassing, like a permanent state rather than a temporary situation. But just as no storm lasts forever, neither does this. Being broke is a chapter, not the entirety of your story. And like any chapter, it holds lessons, growth, and the potential for change. It's an opportunity to re-evaluate priorities, build resilience, and discover strengths you didn't know you had. The person you become as you navigate through challenges is far more valuable than any material wealth. Reframing the narrative also means giving yourself permission to let go of societal judgments and unrealistic expectations. It's about understanding that you are not your bank balance or the labels others may try to impose on you. You are a complex, multifaceted individual with dreams, talents, and an inherent worth that money cannot quantify. This mindset shift is liberating, allowing you to focus on what truly matters: your health, relationships, creativity, and capacity for growth. It's important to approach this journey with self-compassion. Financial struggles often come with a heavy dose of self-criticism, but you must remind yourself that hardship is not a reflection of failure. It's a moment, a challenge, a chapter. By reframing the narrative, you take back the pen and start writing your own story, one that doesn't define you by your financial struggles, but by your resilience, courage, and the boundless potential of what's yet to come. Asking for help can feel like one of the hardest things to do, especially in times of financial struggle. The act of reaching out, of admitting that you need support, can feel vulnerable and uncomfortable. We often resist it because we fear judgment, rejection, or appearing weak. But the truth is, asking for help is one of the most courageous things you can do. It requires you to set aside pride, confront fear, and embrace the humility of being human. Far from being a sign of weakness, seeking support is a testament to your strength and your determination to move forward. There is a persistent myth that self-reliance is the ultimate measure of strength. Society often glorifies the idea of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, ignoring the reality that no one succeeds entirely on their own. Every person, no matter how independent they appear, has relied on someone at some point: a mentor, a friend, a teacher, or a community. Asking for help doesn't mean you failed, it means you're resourceful enough to recognize that collaboration is a vital part of overcoming challenges. When you ask for help, you're not just opening the door to practical solutions, you're also creating space for connection and understanding. By sharing your struggles, you allow others to see your humanity and, in turn, their own. Vulnerability fosters empathy, and often people are more willing to help than you might expect. Your courage to ask can inspire others to offer their support and even reflect on times when they too have needed help. Seeking help also requires self-awareness and honesty. It means acknowledging that you can't do everything alone, and that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay, it's necessary. Life is not a solo endeavor, it's a shared experience. When you let others in, you not only benefit from their assistance, but also give them the opportunity to feel valued and purposeful in supporting you. It's important to reframe the act of asking for help as an investment in yourself and your future. Whether you're reaching out to a friend for emotional support, a mentor for guidance, or a professional for advice, you're taking an active step toward growth and resolution. It's a powerful act of self-advocacy that says, I believe I'm worth the effort, and I'm willing to do what it takes to move forward. The courage to ask is a reminder that strength is not about going it alone, it's about knowing when to lean on others. In seeking support, you affirm your resilience, your determination, and your belief that brighter days are ahead. In challenging times, one of the greatest sources of strength comes from the people around us. Building a community of support, encouragement, and genuine connection is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. When life feels heavy, it is the people who uplift us, who remind us of our worth, and who stand by us that help us find the courage to keep going. A strong community doesn't just offer comfort, it empowers us to navigate struggles with resilience and hope. Surrounding yourself with uplifting individuals starts with identifying those who bring positivity into your life. These are the people who listen without judgment, who celebrate your victories no matter how small, and who offer a helping hand when you need it most. They remind you that your worth is not tied to your circumstances, but to who you are as a person. In their presence, you feel seen, valued, and understood, a feeling that is especially vital when self-doubt threatens to creep in. A meaningful community isn't about the number of people you know, it's about the depth of your relationships. Quality always outweighs quantity when it comes to building connections. Even a small circle of trusted friends, family members, or mentors can have an enormous impact on your well-being. The key is to nurture these relationships with intention. Be open about your struggles, share your joys and fears, and show up for others in the same way you hope they will show up for you. Connection is a two-way street, and the more you invest in it, the stronger it becomes. During tough times, it's also important to seek out communities where your experiences are understood. This could mean joining a support group, attending community events, or finding online spaces where people with similar challenges come together to share insights and encouragement. Knowing you're not alone in your struggles can be incredibly grounding. It creates a sense of belonging and reminds you that your experiences, while difficult, are part of the larger human journey. Building a community is not just about receiving support, it's also about giving it. When you offer kindness, encouragement, or a listening ear to someone else, you strengthen the bonds of connection and create a ripple effect of positivity. In helping others, you often find healing for yourself as well. The act of lifting someone else up reinforces the truth that we are all interdependent, and our worth is not diminished by hardship. In times of scarcity, it's easy to feel trapped by what's missing, whether it's money, resources, or opportunities. The world often tells us that success comes through accumulation, more possessions, more wealth, more recognition. Yet when we shift our focus from consumption to creativity, we unlock the potential to thrive, even in the most challenging of circumstances. Scarcity doesn't have to breed frustration. It can spark ingenuity and foster a mindset that values resourcefulness over material wealth. Creativity flourishes when we are forced to think outside the box, to find solutions with limited resources. When we don't have everything we want, we become more resourceful, more inventive, and more open to new ways of thinking. This mindset of innovation is often what separates those who remain stuck in their circumstances from those who use adversity as a catalyst for growth. The constraints we face, rather than limiting us, can actually push us to explore uncharted territory and discover solutions that we may not have considered if everything was readily available. One of the most powerful aspects of creativity is its ability to transform our perception of what's possible. In times of scarcity, we are often forced to rethink the way we approach problems, whether it's in the way we work, how we manage our time, or how we relate to others. When we shift from a mindset of lack to one of possibility, we begin to see opportunities where we once saw obstacles. A lack of financial resources, for example, can inspire innovative ways to create or share value without relying on money. Whether it's through barter, collaboration, or simply finding new ways to repurpose what we already have, scarcity teaches us to maximize what we do have rather than focusing on what we don't. Focusing on creativity also nurtures a sense of empowerment. When we create, we take control of our circumstances, refusing to let external factors define our potential. We recognize that our ability to innovate, adapt, and solve problems is far more valuable than any material possession. This mindset can be liberating, allowing us to move away from the constant pursuit of consumption and instead embrace the freedom that comes with creation. Moreover, creativity fosters a sense of fulfillment that consumption cannot provide. When we create, whether through art, ideas, or solutions, we experience a sense of accomplishment and purpose that goes beyond simply acquiring things. Creativity taps into our deeper sense of identity, reminding us that we are capable of more than we may realize. By embracing creativity over consumption, we reclaim our power to shape our own reality, regardless of the external circumstances we face. In this way, scarcity becomes not a hindrance, but a wellspring of possibility. Financial hardship can feel like an overwhelming weight, often accompanied by a deep sense of frustration, fear, and even shame. In times of struggle, it's easy to be harsh on ourselves, believing that we failed or that we're somehow less worthy because of our financial situation. We might compare ourselves to others who seem to have it all together, or we may internalize societal messages that equate success with wealth. However, it's crucial to remember that financial difficulty doesn't define who we are. It is simply one chapter of our lives, and how we respond to it is what truly shapes our journey. This is where self-compassion becomes a vital practice. Being kind to yourself in times of struggle doesn't mean ignoring the reality of your situation. It means treating yourself with the same patience, understanding, and care that you would offer to a close friend who is going through hard times. When we are kind to ourselves, we acknowledge the pain and frustration of the moment without letting it dictate our sense of self-worth. We give ourselves permission to feel what we're feeling without judgment or self-blame. One of the most important aspects of self-compassion is recognizing that mistakes and setbacks are part of the human experience. Financial hardship can arise for countless reasons, some of which are completely outside our control. It could be the result of an unexpected event, like a health crisis, a job loss, or even a global economic shift. While it's easy to internalize these struggles and think we're somehow failing, the truth is that hardship is often an inevitable part of life. Self-compassion allows us to see these struggles not as a reflection of our inadequacies, but as opportunities to learn, grow, and adapt. In times of financial difficulty, we often focus on what we don't have, what we've lost, or what we think we're lacking. Self-compassion, however, invites us to shift our perspective. It reminds us to focus on the strengths we possess, the resources we still have, and the ways we are resilient in the face of adversity. It helps us acknowledge that we are doing the best we can with what we have. This mindset fosters a sense of peace and self-worth that isn't dependent on external circumstances. When we practice self-compassion, we also build the emotional strength to face challenges more effectively. We become less likely to engage in negative self-talk or get stuck in feelings of helplessness. Instead, we approach our difficulties with clarity and a sense of agency, knowing that we have the ability to navigate through tough times. Financial hardship doesn't define us, it's our response to it, marked by kindness, resilience, and patience, that truly shapes who we are. By embracing self-compassion, we create the foundation for a stronger, more empowered future. In times of financial struggle, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the weight of the present moment. The pressure of bills, the uncertainty about the future, and the feeling of being stuck can cloud our vision and make it hard to see beyond the immediate challenges. However, one of the most powerful strategies we can embrace during these difficult times is hope. Hope isn't just wishful thinking or an abstract concept, it's a mindset that can fuel action and resilience. By holding on to hope, we remind ourselves that this struggle is temporary and that brighter days are ahead, but it's not just about waiting for things to improve, it's about taking purposeful steps toward a better tomorrow. Hope, in this context, is about maintaining the belief that change is possible. It's the understanding that financial hardship, no matter how intense, is not a permanent condition. This belief allows us to stay grounded in the present moment while keeping our eyes on the future. It helps us separate our current circumstances from our identity, recognizing that today's struggles do not define who we are or what we're capable of. Hope is a subtle yet powerful reminder that things will get better, and our current situation is just one chapter in a larger, evolving story. But hope is not passive. It doesn't mean waiting for external circumstances to change on their own. Hope as a strategy involves focusing on actionable steps that can lead to progress. It's about taking small, deliberate actions, whether it's revising a budget, seeking out additional work, or reaching out for advice that move us in the direction of a more stable future. These actions may seem small, but collectively they build momentum. Each step, no matter how incremental, brings us closer to the outcome we desire. Hope combined with action is the fuel that propels us forward. Another key aspect of hope is the mindset shift it fosters. Rather than getting caught in a cycle of despair or anxiety, hope invites us to focus on solutions instead of problems. It allows us to approach financial struggles not as insurmountable obstacles, but as challenges to be faced, one at a time. With hope, we cultivate resilience, the ability to face adversity with strength, creativity, and persistence. When hope is at the center of our strategy, we see setbacks as temporary and manageable rather than permanent and overwhelming. Maintaining hope also means being patient with ourselves. Financial struggles are often accompanied by frustration and self-doubt. It's easy to get discouraged, but hope teaches us that setbacks are not failures. They are part of the process of moving forward. With hope as our guide, we stay focused on the bigger picture, remembering that this too shall pass, and that our efforts, no matter how small, will eventually pay off. Hope is not just a feeling, it's a strategy for navigating hardship with grace and determination, ultimately leading us toward the brighter days ahead. In conclusion, financial hardship is a temporary chapter, not the entirety of our story. It's easy to feel defined by our struggles, but true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in the resilience, relationships, and creativity we cultivate through adversity. By embracing self-compassion, leaning into gratitude, and reframing our narrative, we free ourselves from the shame and fear that often accompany financial challenges. The courage to ask for help, build a supportive community, and focus on creativity rather than consumption empowers us to transform scarcity into opportunity. Above all, hope serves as our guiding light, reminding us that this too shall pass, and by taking action, we create a path forward. As we move through tough times, remember that it's not our circumstances that define us, but how we respond to them. Through resilience, kindness to ourselves, and unwavering hope, we not only survive but thrive. So when you don't have money, remember this: your bank account is not the sum of who you are. You are rich in your ability to connect, to create, to persevere. You are more than enough even when it feels like you don't have enough. Thank you.